How's it hanging, YouTube? It's Peter here, your Ginger Geordie Geek. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm very pleased to say I'm joined by my good friend...
Efren, Passpoint Comics.
Flawless.
Yeah.
Flawless, Efren.
You know, our timing is perfect, but this is our top 5 comic books, and this is the one video that we do on a monthly basis that I really look forward to with Peter all the time, because I just likes to see which are his top 5 and which are my top 5. And we have that extra bonus at the end where one series that we're looking forward to read next week.
Yeah. So let's just crack straight on. Okie dokie, Efren. So let's have a look. And again, another interesting month with some nice books coming out this month. You know how sometimes we've said before, we sometimes struggle to find some books that really jump out. This month there was quite a bit, so I was quite pleased. Now I'm going to give you some pre-advanced notice. I've nicked one of yours. So, but you are naughty. You had an extra book in there anyway.
Yeah.
But you've picked the same book as me, so I've pinched that one. All right. But let's just crack straight on and see what we've got. So these are books that are coming out in November of this year, and we're first picks. 2 classic books straight away, Efren. So tell us a little bit about your pick.
So mine is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Last Ronin, The Lost Years. Basically, this, if anybody's seen the miniseries that just happened, finally it ended, The Last Ronin, you witnessed the gut-wrenching days of the heroes in the half shell. But this basically it's like a prequel of what happened to, I believe it was Michelangelo, how he was alone for all these years. And it leads to The Last Ronin. It hasn't come out yet. Obviously, this miniseries, hopefully it'll come out all in a monthly basis. They'll come out out of the 2 or 3 month gap. But I'm really looking forward to reading this book. I want to see what happened to him, in between.
So have you read The Last Ronin yet?
Oh, yes.
So don't spoil it. So I've got, as you know, a couple of copies of the first issue. And I got me Aaron Bartlett exclusive. I think you've got a copy as well, haven't you?
Yes.
That stunning cover. But I've resisted reading any of this, and I've picked up now it's in my pile of boxes. I've picked up the hardback graphic novel because we've talked about this before, Efren. I like to read a full story, and I know this had quite significant delays in between issues, so I'm kind of pleased I waited. So I'm going to sit myself down with a nice cup of coffee, probably on the bank holiday we've got over here, and sit and just read through the full series.
Usually when books come out, they come out on a monthly basis. So you don't, at least for myself, you don't lose interest in them. But this one I did. I read them, and I really wish I would have waited like you're doing now and read it all at once. Them as a beginning, middle, and end. To me, this was a great series. I love the way it ended. And I'm glad they're going to make a prequel to it. So I'm looking forward to this book. Hopefully, I'm not going to read it. I'm going to wait.
You're going to hold off?
Yeah, I'm going to hold off. Yep.
Is it going to be a limited series? It's not an ongoing, is it?
It's just this one. It doesn't say if it's more than one. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a series. Probably going to be a limited series. I don't going on and on. Because it just like it has Michelangelo. He says it's taking him from New York City to Japan, across Asia and Europe, and then back home again to administer final justice against those guilty of killing his family.
Sounds good. And also, I'm an action figure collector, Efren. There are some tremendous Last Ronin action figures come out. They look stunning, absolutely stunning. So my pick, I love a bit of Fantastic Four. I know you're the same. I know you like the Fantastic Four. Have you got FF1? I can't remember if you've got FF1.
Yes, I got that one at Comic-Con. That's one of my
That's right. Of course you did. Yeah. Swine. Yeah. So I love Fantastic Four. You'll know straight away why this jumped out. I'm a massive sucker for Alex Ross.
Yep.
Love his artwork. Interestingly, there's 2 Alex Ross covers. This is my favorite. There is another Alex Ross cover where he seems to be playing around with colors a little bit. There's a lot of pinks and things in it. I'm not sure, but this jumps out. And basically, this is a reboot. Another issue 1 of Fantastic Four. And it says something's gone terribly wrong in New York, and the Thing and Alicia are traveling across America to escape it. But when they stop in a small town for the night, they wake up the morning. They wake up the morning before they arrived. They find themselves caught in a time loop that's been going on since before they were born. Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be picking that one up because I do like a bit of Fantastic Four.
One thing about any artist who draws the Thing, I'm sure they're used to drawing him if they do him on a regular basis, but to me it would take forever because you got to draw lines, and he's got like basically a rock body, and you got to draw lines.
Yeah.
And I guess you have to make it look the next page has got to look the same face. You got to draw. I don't know how they do that with the Thing.
Yeah, it's incredible, really, isn't it? Same as Spider-Man's web design, I suppose.
Spider-Man's web design, yeah.
Okie dokie. Next picks. What have you got here, Efren?
So mine is on the left. It's called Behold Behemoth #1. It is by Boom Studios. I'm just reading off what it says here. It says House of Slaughters, Tate Brongbaugh brings his first original series to Boom. Grayson's world is crumbling following his brother's sudden and mysterious death. His sleepless nights are haunted by vivid nightmares of a terrifying monster, pushing him to the brink of losing both his sanity and his job as a social worker. So it's a brand new series. I love the artwork, and obviously it looks like he's going up into the air, and there's some type of entity or creature in front of him. To me, that's what it looks like. That is the light in the middle.
Yeah.
And actually on top, there we go. Right on top, right here, there's two eyes on the very top of the picture. So that's probably his stomach right there. So I love indie books. They're just so. I know we always talk about this, but when we were kids, there didn't seem to be indie books like this.
Absolutely.
So that's why I picked this one.
I think this looks great. I love the painted artwork style. And when you sent us this image, I was sat for ages trying to figure out what that is in the clouds. If they're his eyes or I can't make it out, which intrigues us. Yes. So yeah, I'll definitely be picking that one up. It looks very interesting. And actually, that's a beautiful cover, Efren. That just looks stunning, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
My pick is there's a series at the moment that's been recommended to us by our friend Ben, the attention-seeking geek. He picked up recently the Riddler One Bad Day, which I've ordered. I haven't read yet, but he basically said it was one of the best Batman stories he's ever read. And then I noticed that there's basically this One Bad Day storyline is continuing on with all the villains. So this is a one-shot, One Bad Day Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze being one of my favorite Bat villains because I think he's a tragic story. Everything he does is about, or initially was about, trying to save the wife of his wife, Nora. I love the Batman animated version of Mr. Freeze and the storyline that goes along with that. So this just looked really intriguing to us. And the synopsis basically talks a little bit about Mr. Freeze and about how Gotham's plunged into kind of an icy winter, the worst winter they've ever seen. So much so that Mr. Freeze doesn't need his apparatus to live. He can just wander around. But it basically ends with the tagline of that Mr. Freeze will show his true wickedness and power. And I thought, I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
So keen to pick this up. Like I say, I've ordered the Riddler one. They're doing a Penguin one. I've seen that. It just sounds like an interesting story. And like I say, the Riddler one has been getting a lot of praise. So hopefully this will follow suit.
I got to read those books. Never knew about it.
Blade.
Okay. Yeah. So I had to pick this. When I seen this covers, you could tell it's Wesley Snipes' version of Blade. Oh my God. Here we go.
Yeah.
So I hope as a little side note, I hope he has a cameo in the new Blade movie. Some type of homage to him, I think, so hopefully.
I hope so as well. I don't know if he will, but I really do hope he does because I loved those original Blade movies. Not so much the third one, but certainly Blade 2.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
So this one is called Blade Vampire Nation. #1, it says a deep dive into Dracula's new kingdom as established in Avengers, starring Blade, the sheriff of Vampire Nation. An assassination threatens to unravel the fledgling country and spread chaos throughout the world. But is getting rid of a nation full of bloodsuckers really all that bad of an idea? Blade himself isn't too sure. So, it's a new series, and I just like the striking cover, and looking at this main character, looks like the main vampire up front here. Now that I notice, he's got a cape. And ever since we've been reading Once and Future, I wonder if this is a historical figure, know. So, but I love this cover, so that's why I picked it.
Yeah, and I love the character of Blade.
Yeah.
I have to say, I'm really looking forward to the movie of that. You mentioned Once and Future there, Efren. Did you see that series is coming to an end?
Yeah, you mentioned that to me. Yeah. It's been going on. I think it was supposed to be just a limited series to begin with. It got so popular. It's been like 2 years now.
Yeah. I've just picked up the hardback version.
Yeah.
So looking forward to getting back into that. I've picked this one purely for nostalgia. So I don't know if you remember this, but this is many years ago when I was really in my heyday of collecting monthly comics. Marvel did the cross-gen series. I can't remember if it was actually published by Marvel at the time, but it was basically cross-gen. It was all these various books of people who were born with this sigil thing on them, which gave them special powers. And there was kind of a sword and sorcery version. There was a one called Roos, I think, which was by Mark Waid, which was a Sherlock Holmes kind of thing. They were really good series. This got us intrigued. So this copy is basically the first 4 issue number 1s of those series. So you get issue 1 of Ruse, Mystic, Sojourn, and I can't remember what the other one's called. Sigil, sorry. So it's a reprint, but it's got us intrigued because I don't know why they're doing that. I don't know if that means that they're bringing this universe back under the Marvel banner. I hope so, because particularly the sword and sorcery one, Sigil, I think it was called, was really, really good. So for me, this is just a bit of a nostalgia to get us updated again with those series, and hopefully it'll turn out to be a new introduction into the Marvel universe. Did you remember them or not?
No, I don't remember this series at all. No. Well, I think what grabs me when we make our picks, I look at the front cover first. I think it's hard not to.
Yeah.
And then I stop. And then I read what the synopsis, what it's about. And that's how I make my picks. But I do look at the picture first.
Yeah. I'm the same. And it's interesting because that's the whole purpose of the cover, I guess, isn't it? To jump out at you, because I very much scan the images, and it's whatever jumps out in terms of the artwork and the imagery that really kind of pulls us in.
Yeah.
Like this.
Daredevil. Daredevil just has a spot in my heart. He's my favorite Marvel character. I mean, I just like all his. He's a superhero per se, but all his faults in life, his insecurities. He's one who has a very religious background too.
Yeah.
And I can see he is such a conflicted character throughout his whole career. Or not career, but his character, his comic book character. This one is Daredevil number 5. It says, after the biggest change to befall Matt Murdock in decades, in the pages of Daredevil number 4, Matt Murdock and Elektra embark on establishing a new world order hand in hand. I love that Elektra became Daredevil. I thought at the beginning, I'm not sure about this, but the way these two characters' lives are intertwined with each other, that I'm not sure if they're going to end up together. I know these series go on and on, but I love this iteration of Daredevil that has both of them on there. And I didn't like her outfit at the beginning, but the more I see of it, I really like her outfit.
Yeah. So, is Daredevil got a beard there? Is it? I'm out of touch with
beard there. Yes. Yeah. He's gone through so much, and him and just the Kingpin saga that just concluded, and him being incarcerated. And I was like, oh my God, what a series. And the whole Null thing where I said he was the only character to fight off Null. I went, dang, he's got inner strength that I think no other character has. If anybody could lift Thor's hammer, I think he may be a person who could because of his faith.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm out of touch with. Are you excited about Daredevil coming back into Disney?
Oh, yes. I told you guys during the D23 I went there, they had they didn't show a clip of their Daredevil miniseries that's coming on, but they showed the clip between him and She-Hulk.
Yeah.
And it was like a very entertaining scene. So
looking forward to it. And again, just to add, incredibly jealous that you went to D23, but I'll let it pass different. I'll let it off. I love this. So one of my favorite series of the last year that I discovered through the guys over on the Nerd Herd, which is a great channel to go and check out, is I Hate Fairyland. So I picked up both of the kind of the hardback volumes of this with Gertrude. It's just an amazing series by Scotty Young. It ended good few years back, and it ended well. So this was a total surprise that they're actually bringing this character back. cannot wait to get into it. The synopsis sounds interesting. It basically says that she's living in the real world. She's grown up now, and now's the time for her to go back to fairyland. So she's got to go back for some reason. My only downside to this, my only negativity, is that the artwork's not, the internal artwork's not going to be done by Scotty Young.
Oh no!
Yeah, whereas the original obviously was. So I would have been much happier if it had been just as carbon, the carbon copy of the last series in terms of the writing style and the art style. But I'll give it a go. I will give it a go and see what I think. But I love this character and I love the world and the humor of it all. So yeah, I will be picking that one up definitely. Next, what we got?
Okay, so this one is, which one did you pick?
I've picked the eyeball one.
Okay, so then the other one is the ones that I picked. So I picked that one too, but that's the one you took from me, right?
Yeah, yeah. Specs. I took Specs from you.
Yeah, took Specs from me. So this is ones, and this is number 1 of 4. It's by Dark Horse Studios. One of the main reasons I picked it is being written by Brian Michael Bendis. Says every single person in every mythology that was told they were the one are brought together for the first time to defeat the one. Let me see here. The actual one, the real actual one. This amazing new vision is brought to you by Brian Michael Bendis. So yeah, interesting, says these are all ones who are supposedly, they keep on saying the ones, but they're going to fight against the one. So I was like, interesting. So I'm curious to see what this storyline is all about.
So I'm not a huge Bendis fan, I have to say. I don't know why. I don't know. He's done some great stuff. Ultimate Spider-Man I really enjoyed, but I don't know. He doesn't float my boat. But that sounds really interesting. What do they mean by the ones, do you think? Do you think they mean like through religion and mythology and stuff? People who've been...
Every single person in every mythology that was told they were the one are brought together for the first time to defeat the one, the actual one. So to me, it means that they're from different worlds.
Yeah.
They were the chosen ones to, help out said world, but then they're brought together to fight against the actual one who started it all, I'm assuming.
Sounds very intriguing, I have to say.
Yeah.
I'll probably pick that up and see what that's all about.
Yeah.
Interesting. So this is the one that I pinched off here. This is called Specs. And this is Specs number 1. Basically, the synopsis says that it's what happens when a couple of misfit teens mail order a pair of X-ray glasses and realize they've received much more than they bargained for. So basically, it looks like the premise is they put the glasses on and they see spirits or ghosts or things like that. It says the wishes start out innocent enough, but when they wish that their school bully would disappear, things take a turn for the worse and with darker consequences. It just sounds creepy.
Yeah.
And I like creepy stuff. So, and also I really like that cover art. I think it looks really interesting. So, yeah, looking forward to reading that one. I think that one will be a fun story. Yeah, and you picked that one as well. So that one must have jumped out at you, Efren.
Yeah, that one jumped out to me, and because of the cover. I mean, I go, okay, that's a cool looking cover. I like the reflection, obviously, of that skeleton off his glasses.
Yeah.
And starts off, what happens to the person who's been bullying them.
Yeah.
So I'm just really can't wait to read these stories. It comes out in 2 months, I believe. So yeah, good pick. Good pick for both of us.
Looks.
Yeah.
So these are our picks that are coming out on September 21st, which is next. Is that next week or the week after?
Next week should be coming out.
Yeah, next week. Yeah. So Efren, Eternus. Not heard of that one.
Yeah, I was just going through the list of books that are coming out for September 21st, and it just grabbed my eye. Of course, again, the picture, and I love stories about gods, whether it be Thor's family or Hercules' family. The whole. I'm trying to think of what's the right word. Just it always piques my curiosity reading about gods.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I like going back to that Once and Future. King Arthur, that type of genre. This is basically the great god Zeus is long dead, brutally murdered in his own temple some 30 years ago. Prior, Hercules, Zeus's son and champion, spends his days drunk and depressed as the old god struggled to stay alive after decades of Christian disruption. When Athena's temple is sacked by a mysterious centurion looking for a powerful relic that once belonged to Zeus. The gods are convinced they have found Zeus's killer. So it starts from there. And yeah, hopefully it's a good series. And like I said, the cover to me is awesome by Scout Comics. I'm definitely going to pick this one up, go to the LCS and, read it.
Scout Comics are doing a lot of good work at the moment, mind. I'm really enjoying a lot of their series.
Yeah.
And that one sounds really interesting. So yeah, I'll and I'm a bit like you, Efren. I do love my mythology books, my ancient gods and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'll pick that one up.
Yeah, I keep on saying this, but I'm just so glad that these indie companies have stepped up their game.
Yeah, absolutely.
As much as I like reading Marvel, because I grew up with Marvel, just these books have just really piqued my curiosity. And I think I enjoy them more than reading Marvel books now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm the same, mate. I'm the same. And that kind of leads on to my pick, because that's from another interesting group called Aftershock, who again are doing some superb books at the moment. One in particular that really jumps out that I really enjoyed was Chicken Devil. I don't know if you read that.
You mentioned it to me. I just never read it, but I remember you telling me that's when he keeps on dying, right? The chicken?
No. So it's basically this guy. He gets involved in a drug deal gone wrong kind of thing, and his family are murdered. And he works for a fried chicken kind of company, and their mascot is this big chicken. So when he goes after the kind of the killers, he pops this chicken costume on. It's a bit like the Punisher, but in a chicken outfit. It was just a really entertaining story, and they're making a second series of it. So I'm really looking forward to that. The reason I picked this one up, because I'm not a wrestling fan. I don't particularly watch wrestling or enjoy wrestling that much. But I read a series recently by one of my favorite authors, John Lees, called Crimson Cage, which was Macbeth, but told in a wrestling style. And it was phenomenal. I spotted this and I thought this was a follow-on because the art style is very similar, but it's not. This is a separate storyline by somebody else, but it's basically about a wrestler who gives his all in the ring, and then his life goes bad, basically. And it's about how life gets complicated and dangerous from inside and outside of the ring. So really, it's a cover buy, but I am intrigued because of that previous series of Crimson Cage. So I will pick this up just to see what it's all about. It looks interesting to us.
Yeah, I love wrestling growing up as a kid.
Right?
Oh, yes, man. Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker.
Yeah.
I used to watch the Iron Sheik, all those guys, Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, I remember. I don't know if any of them are still around. Are they? Hulk Hogan's still around, isn't he? I don't know if he wrestles
Andre
anymore.
the Giant, just great picks.
Tremendous. So that, ladies and gents, is our monthly picks for November. As ever, we've had some good picks there, Efren. Lots to read, lots to watch out for in the comic shops. What have you got coming up on your channel, Efren, that the folks?
Gosh, I'm going to do this. I've read this article on Go Collect. One of my biggest peeves has been how the modern age hasn't changed. It started in 1985. It's been going on for decades. I'm not sure who the powers to be are, but they have to pick another name. About 85. That's 95 to almost 40 years. I'm not sure why it hasn't been chosen a new age. So I'm going to talk about that in one of my videos that I read.
That would be really interesting.
Go Collect. They named another age and they explained why, and I thought it was an interesting article, so I'm going to talk about it.
Superb. I like the sound of that, Efren. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
On my channel, I've got my my weekly live shows, and I've got some toy videos and some comic videos coming out. So lots of content as ever. And of course, we've got our top 5 videos coming out. So depending on when this video goes out, we'll have 2 Halloween videos out where we'll look at our favorite horror movies. So they're a good watch.
Yep.
Okay. Well, as ever, Efren, it's been an absolute pleasure. So with that, we'll call it a night and say thank you very much, everybody, and we'll catch you next time. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.